What's up, Stephaholics? It's your girl Steph. I'm back and I'm looking busted and crusted and just neglected, but that's not what we're here for. I really just want to take this opportunity to thank you all. Thank those who support me and who are subscribed to me and who are just anticipating on my next post every time. I love you guys so much. So, well, currently, let me let you know what I'm doing right now. So this morning I had to take my dad to go get some blood work and stuff done. Took him to his doctor's appointment and all that. And I'm currently waiting for him to come back out from getting some blood work done. But I wanted to take this opportunity to talk to you guys about nursing school. I know I did a poll on what my next video should be about, and that is honestly something that I want to incorporate before I actually record content, just to get a gist of what you guys want to see, because this honestly is about you guys. Like, you set the tone, you set the stage, you set the vibe for what I'm going to do. So, and you guys are a big influence in my life and in my day to day. So therefore, I would love your opinion and love to know what you want to see, because you're the one that is going to see it. Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about how to pass the NCLEX on the first try. It is possible. Step one, I need you to take a deep breath.
Stretch, shake, let it go.
Because if you are a nursing student, that's who I'm gonna, base it off of. But there are other boards to take. There are other fields in the medical field other than nursing. But because I am a nurse, I am going to be talking about preparing for the NCLEX. And the NCLEX, they have different boards, but NCLEX is specifically for nursing. So the first step is to just take a deep breath and try not to stress too much, because this is something that we already, like, as nursing students, you already, like, anxiety is on 1,050. Everything is moving super duper fast and your brain is going at high speeds, and it's just like completely overwhelming. We're having feelings of doom, we're having stress, we're having everything all in one, right? The first step to passing the NCLEX is to not stress. Okay, with stress comes, different errors that can be made, different things that can be done out of stress that might not be beneficial towards your process and towards passing the NCLEX. So the first step is to just relax. I need y'all to just chill out. Okay,
relax. Yes.
Secondly, I need you to understand that you cannot cram the NCLEX, okay? You cannot decide, all right, I'm going to take my test next month and I'm just going to study everything all together and just go through this Saunders book throughout this whole month. This is my first month actually opening this book, and I'm just going to run through it. That is not going to work, because NCLEX is a pace. The way that I'm going to compare to NCLEX is basically like your HbA1c. It's like a HbA1c to a diabetic, right? So with NCLEX, you're going based off of a certain period of time. It's not like you just getting your blood sugar. Like you just straight up, boom, taking the test and boom, that's it. No, this is literally testing your knowledge from months back, all the way from the beginning, your fundamentals, the beginning of nursing. You gotta spend time with the NCLEX all throughout your school year. So if you're in nursing school, you're just starting nursing school, I would start off giving myself practice questions. Like, do at least 5 to 10 practice questions a day, just to kind of get yourself acclimated with NCLEX style testing. Because the way that NCLEX style testing versus like just your typical regular test, nursing, whatever, is not the same. The way that they question things, the way that they word things are almost like they're set out to trick you. But no, it's just honestly about reading, paying attention. Like when I read a question, I always try to dissect it and figure out what it is, what we have and what we need and what we're trying to figure out in that equation or in that problem. So as long as you can find out what they're asking for, you got to look at like key words like which is the best practice or the most. If they're asking for the best, there's a possibility that all of these answers are correct, but one is more correct than the other. So you have to go with the best choice, the best, like the priority, the top tier one. You know what I mean? Then they might have a, which is the least used, or so this is something that you won't use. You're not likely to need, or whatever the case is. It's just, you got to pay attention to those key words, those plugins, those like, all are true except, or you know what I mean? So you know that all of these are right except one. So you kind of want to like get yourself into that, into like the process of elimination. I know I'm doing a lot of talking, y'all. When it comes to NCLEX questions, nursing questions in general, we know like with priority, ABCs always come first. Airway, breathing, circulation. ABC. So we always, I know they have like A, B, C, D, E, like they have exposure. Keep at it. If you don't use it, you lose it. That's exactly why I'm back in school, because I ain't trying to lose nothing. You feel me? So, but I know that E is like exposure. If they're exposed to any, like, let's say COVID or TB or things like that. It's going to come back to me because I do remember what D is, but it's just not, I'm having a brain fart. Totally normal. So, yeah, you always put priority first, the ABC. Use your resources. Use resources. So, we have ATI, which I feel like ATI is a great tool. I don't know if every school has a contract with them or has like an affiliation with them. Excuse me. I don't know if every school has an affiliation with them. But for those who do, utilize it. Those who don't, I would actually invest in it, because ATI questions are known to be harder than NCLEX questions. So they test you above and beyond. And what I love about ATI is that they give you a probability to of passing NCLEX. Like kind of like a bar that has like a percentage after each test or exam, whatever you take. And that probability is very much accurate. Like, let's say your probability is 80% chance of passing the NCLEX on the first try. You have an 80% chance of passing the NCLEX on the first try, based off of what you know, based off of the content that you know, based off of your test taking. Now, some people are horrible test takers, and their probability might be very low based off of the testing, but they end up passing the NCLEX because they persevered, and you know, they had good healthy studying habits and didn't cram, and kind of like, you know, I learned that with nursing school, it's really a gradual process. You can't cram all your work into one day's work. You really do have to spread it out. And that's honestly what I was doing my whole entire nursing school process. I would be on ATI doing the modules and stuff. Like, we would get a lesson, we would get a lecture, or whatever the case is, whatever chapter we were working on. I would then go into the ATI book, read that, because the ATI books are like way more, it's so much detail, but crammed into little wording. Like, it breaks it down basically for you. ATI will break down like your main book. So let's say like you have maternity, you know, like a maternity and peds combination or whatever. Let's say you have maternity book. You're gonna have your maternity book that's like this thick, right? And then you're gonna have an ATI book that might be like this thick, that matches, counteracts to the maternity book. That ATI book is still going to have all that information that's in that book, but it's cramped. Like it's simplified. It's kind of like letting you know the key things that stood out that you need to know. They're kind of good for studying with tests. Like when you have a test coming up, always go through your ATI book. And they have practice questions and stuff in that. But what I'll do is I will read the book. I will read my chapter. Let's say I have to do chapter 10. Chapter 10 is on like the different phases, the different transition phases and stuff with labor and delivery, right? So I'm going to read that chapter 10 in the regular book, in the main book. Then I'm going to go on over to my ATI book, and I'm going to go to that same chapter, maternity, the different stages of childbirth or whatever the case is, go into that ATI book. Then I'm going to go on ATI, the actual website, and I'm going to go into the modules that are talking about the same thing, because they have modules for each section. And ATI, honestly, is underrated because they have so many different like pages and rooms and realms, or whatever you want to call it. It's so many different outlets that you can go to. And I honestly didn't utilize it to my best ability, but I did what I needed to do with it. But I know there's a lot of other things that I didn't explore in ATI that I could have. So if you go to a school that has ATI, use it every single day. If you don't have ATI, I believe that it's a great investment. So how much ever it costs, pay the cost. Like if my nursing school does not have ATI, I do not mind buying it, but I know that my school has really good resources, so I'm going to go ahead and trust the process. However, if I, at any given point, feel uncomfortable or feel like I'm not getting it, I don't trust the process, I am going to re-download ATI, and I'm going to use ATI once again, because that is like the holy grail to passing the NCLEX, because NCLEX is not as hard as ATI. ATI actually gives you harder questions than NCLEX. So I was told by multiple nurses before I even sat for the NCLEX that if you could sit for ATI and pass them ATI tests, you're gonna breeze through NCLEX. You're gonna breeze through it, because they really literally set it up to make ATI harder. So it kind of like, pushes you, forces you to expand your knowledge. And then when you get and you sit for the NCLEX, it's like, ooh, this was cake, smooth sailing. I learn better when I write stuff down. Poppy, say hi to my stuffaholics.
Hi,
So, Pop's back, stuffaholics. We about to go. I'm hungry. I know he's hungry. I will talk to you guys later in regards to passing the NCLEX on the first try, okay? Stuff your weight up.